Hello, how are you? I thought I'd do an abundance reading. It's going to be on money and it's going to be on abundance because one of our soul sisters who watches the channel, she asked if we could do it. So I was like, yeah, go on, we'll do that, because I haven't done abundance or money for, I think, a couple of months. It feels like ages since I've done one on abundance. So I'm just looking at the card layout to remind myself. Because you know what I'm like, I won't remember what I'm doing otherwise. So yeah, we're gonna see what we get for money and abundance. Thanks for subscribing, thanks for giving the video a thumbs up, thanks for supporting the channel and being part of the soul family. I know we're all working on very similar kind of things, awakening back to our true selves, so that we can manifest. I mean, that's the ultimate thing, and that's what my deck's about, Deeper Consciousness deck, which you can buy. You know, it's about us getting back to our core vibration, because that's key. If you want more money, if you want abundance, yeah, we've got to get back to this core frequency of who you really are. And at the moment, we're too identified with the ego, which is the false self, and that's created by this mind. And it comes up with all sorts of ideas about who we think we are, and it's got all our beliefs and judgments and thought processes, and all those things block our core vibration. They take us out of alignment with what we actually really, our core vibration really is. So it's really cheeky, the ego. So anyone that says they need their ego, I'm sorry, I saw a tarot card reader say it the other day and I was like, oh, but there we go. It's just, I've still got loads of ego, which, you know, you can probably tell just listening to me and watching me. You know, if you're getting more aware of your own ego, you'll be able to spot mine. We've all got blind spots with our ego, and we're all trying to awaken from it, and it's not easy to do because our ego is made up of our past karmas from past lives. That's why it's very hard to break the ego down. That's why it's really hard, and that's why we mostly keep repeating a lot of the similar patterns throughout our lifetime, because that is so hard to break down karma. It's so hard to break down the ego. But ultimately, we want to try and break this ego down, right? Because it's obstructing you from your core vibration. And once you get to your core vibration, that's when you will access like unlimited abundance and prosperity, because all abundance and prosperity comes from source, and we can't align to source frequency while we're still spending too much time grasping at forms and objects in the matrix, dabbling with our ego, because that's what the ego is doing. So you know, it's a daily practice. You know, it really is a daily practice to try and curb the ego down and not keep getting drawn into objects and forms, because that's giving rise to your ego. It's feeding your ego. That's taking you further and further away from the abundance that you would like to have. So when we're breaking down our ego, we're not doing it to get abundance. We're doing it because we want to be the true self. We want to be our core vibration. You know, how God made us, how Spirit made us. That's what, you know, that will bring us the most peace, to be close to source. But obviously it is basically you getting much closer to abundance. So I mean, I didn't really plan on saying all of that, but you know, I've been through it myself, where I wanted to create more abundance, and I was sort of thinking affirmations. You know, you watch a lot of YouTube videos on abundance and doing all the affirmations, and it's really not about that. It's about breaking down your ego and becoming the true self, your core frequency. So let's see what cards we get. I won't talk any more on the matter. And some of you will be sitting there thinking, yeah, Kerry, I know all that. Great. If you do, that's great. It was just for anyone that's not sure or needs reminding. Because I need reminding, because we all need reminding every day. Because it's so easy. The matrix is so, you know, shiny. There's lots of shiny objects in the matrix that, you know, we want to explore and grab. And then before we know it, we're back with the ego, and we're moving further and further away from source. You know what I mean? And we do it all the time, because as long as you've got an ego, it's going to keep happening. So, you know, it's good reminder for me as well. You know, like, if we want abundance, this is basically what we've got to commit to, is our true core frequency source. So okay, the relationship with allowing abundance is definitely improving. Okay, because you've got here the Page of Swords, which means you're being a lot more vigilant to where you're putting your energy. You're being a lot more careful, and you're watching your energy, and you're being more careful about it, because if you dip into ego energy and lower vibrations in the matrix, yeah, it will pull you out of alignment from abundance. So you're learning, us in this soul family, we're learning to be much more careful where we put our energy and who we maybe hang out with. That's probably not the right word, hang out, but you know what I mean. Who we spend our time with, you know, what things we're doing out in the matrix, checking in, is this ego, is this toxic, is it good vibes or not? The more good vibes you can have, that is a very, like, if you want it in a simplistic terms, because not everyone really likes all the jargon, but if you can be in good vibes and be happy within yourself without doing too much out there, then that's a good sign that you're abundant, because you're much closer to spirit when you're just naturally happy yourself, doing your own little, as I call it, bumbling around, doing your own little thing on your own. And if you're feeling happy, yeah, you're aligning to source. So you're being much more careful. You don't want to get pulled into any toxic energy, because you know it's not going to be good for your abundance levels. And you've got the Page of Pentacles as well, which means you're getting quite passionate about your journey with your abundance levels. And that's to do with obviously accumulating more money or attracting more money, but it's also maybe other opportunities that you would like to attract. So you're becoming quite passionate about this journey, and you're excited, but the only thing is that sometimes you can get pulled into different scenarios and spread yourself a bit too thin, because the Page of Pentacles can be a bit distracted at times. So that's like Spirit saying to you, look, you're doing really well, you're really passionate about becoming more abundant, you're really passionate about really getting yourself in a good positive alignment so that you can attract abundance, but you've got to just keep checking in and making sure you're on track and you're not getting too distracted by other things. So let's have a look how to get into alignment then with abundance. I mean, I've talked a bit about that already, but we'll see what Tarot's saying. Okay, so we've got here movement, massive movement and progress. Okay, got a few cards come out on this one. There's massive progress towards much more abundance. Basically, you felt like you were working hard. Okay, you did feel like you were working hard towards a better future for yourself, but you were coming across these toxic energies, okay? These energies that were zapping you, meddling with you. They were probably devious. They didn't have the best intentions. You can see the way they're kind of looking towards you, and all the things you were trying to do, and they were sort of sabotaging you really energetically. The good news is that there's a lot of forward movement and progress away from that, and you are now moving into the King of Wands. Now, hang on a minute, this is not King of Wands, this is Page. We've got another page. Rewind, sorry guys. This is a Page of Wands, so this is a new beginning, basically. I was going to say you're becoming more mature in your approach, but Page of Wands is still good, because Page of Wands is a new beginning. It's a good news for you. It's a new beginning, which is good news for you. And you are excited. There's a hell of a lot of excitement here with the Page of Pentacles and the Page of Wands. You're starting to feel excited about life again after probably feeling a bit scared, because you knew you got involved in energies that weren't good, and it was basically blocking your progress that you were basically making already. You were making progress, you were working hard at your abundance levels, you know, doing a lot of positive things to get more money, and maybe other good opportunities that you were seeking out and working towards, and then it's like boom, this negative energy was in your life and it was blocking you. Well, it is good news. Like I said, you are going to be finding there is fast movement away from that time now, and this is a time for you to explore. It's a very, like I said, it's good news for you this time, very good news. There could be a message you receive. I don't know whether it's from spirit, maybe it's from watching this video, maybe it's from something else that you're doing, but you could definitely receive a message, okay, which will be good news for you. And it's all about you moving forward, exploring new things, doing things in a new way after you've tried to break away from that horrible energy that was zapping you. It was zapping your abundance levels. So your abundance levels really should be going up now, as long as you don't get distracted again. Okay, so how to get an enlightened perspective on abundance. So how are you going to raise your perception on abundance? Well, it's all about you taking your power back. Okay, here, taking your power back after a difficult time. You realised there was no point in keep battling certain energies that were just people and situations that were low vibe. And it was like, God, this is where is this going to get me? Even if I get what I want, what am I really going to be holding at the end of all of this? Is it really going to be worth it? And I think you decided, no, it won't be worth it. It's better off I take my power back at this point. Okay, and that's what you're still in the process of doing, because it's not an overnight process. When you take your power back from toxic situations, what you're actually doing is what I was talking about right at the beginning of the video. You're basically trying to break your karmic patterns, because you've got a karmic pattern of getting involved in situations that probably are not the best. And these types of situations, they're counterproductive, you know, because you're putting so much energy and time into certain people or certain situations, and then what energy have you got left to improve your money, or to improve other opportunities and abundance levels, you know? So something or someone was taking up your time, and you may occasionally be noticing at the moment the tendency to wanting to fall back into those patterns, because they are karmic patterns and they are tough to break. But I think you're vigilant, and you know that you must take your power back at this point, and you must, carry on like that, being careful, because if you get caught up in these low vibes again, or toxic patterns again, where you're very distracted, it's going to drop your abundance levels again, and you're going to have less opportunities, and you're going to have less money. So you sort of know, I must apply myself and not get distracted. Okay. So a bit more for this 5 of Swords. Look, you see? That is still lurking around. Right? Somebody who's very blocked, or a situation that is, somebody has to take action, right? With the 2 of Swords, somebody needs to make a decision and take action, but they're very blocked. And it takes so much courage for this person to be able to make a decision or take action. So they don't do it, and they either lie to you or they play games. And you've got to take your power back from that. I think there's a situation here that is, you are out of it, but you're not fully out of it. And if it's not the same person, you could be tempted to fall back into the same sort of pattern with somebody else. And it will be the similar karmic pattern that will play out all over again. So Spirit's trying to wake you up. If you want an enlightened perspective on your abundance levels, you've got to carry on taking your power back. And remembering, you don't need anyone. You don't need anyone. You don't need friends. You don't need lovers. You don't need anyone. Okay? Because you already are source. Once you align to source, source will be everything that a friend could be and more. And source will give you all your abundance and more. So, you know, and everything is coming from source. That's why it's called source, because it is the source. So, you know, basically Spirit is just saying that you've just got to carry on taking your power back and stick with it now, you know, and remember that you don't need anyone, because that's just the ego mind sometimes cropping up and telling you that you need certain people back or you need somebody new. No, you don't, because there's a very strong chance you could end up attracting the same type of energy again, and Spirit doesn't want that for you at the moment. Spirit wants you to build your, Spirit wants you to build your abundance levels. So, you know, you just got to carry on taking your power back and just keep applying yourself, you see. Keep staying vigilant, you know, because this is a new beginning for you. This is a time which is very good news for you, for us collectively in this soul family. So we've got to stay on it. Okay. Current blessing to be grateful for then. Sorry, I'm getting a bit intense here, but I can only tell you what I'm seeing in the cards. Wow, oh my god, the current blessing to be grateful for is the Star. Holy, that is just Holy Mother of God, that is amazing to have the Star card as our blessing, because the Star is the card of blessings. You know, the beautiful thing with the Star is she's got one chalice of water going into the water, and then she's got one chalice going into the land. So she's got a perfect balance between spirit, source, and the physical reality. So she's in total alignment. I always used to say to people, the Star card shows that you're in alignment. Why is that? It's because your roots are in source, so you manifest beautiful things in the 3D physical reality. Whereas when we're too much in the mind and we're totally stressed and anxious, we start to manifest things from ego, and that's why obviously they're not things that we can sustain, and they tend to be things that fall apart. I've done it many times. So the blessing is that you're basically getting into a much better alignment with source. You're trying to let go of control. You're trying to surrender to the way life is unfolding, and you're more at peace and you're more open, and you're just saying, do you know what? My life may not be perfect right now, but I am walking in my authentic truth. I am trusting more in spirit, and I am letting things unfold in the right and proper way rather than getting really reactive, you know, and that takes time and it takes spiritual maturity. But I think as a soul family on this channel, I do think that's where we're getting to now after a hell of a lot of hard work. We're getting to a more spiritually mature place where, you know, it's just like, okay, I could go and do those things from ego, but I know it won't really serve me. If I do decide to do anything, I'm going to let it spontaneously happen and unfold in a natural way, you know, and really just honour spirit, you know, because I used to always be forcing things and rushing things and, you know, like impatient and a bit wound up. But, you know, it's not good energy, that's ego, and then you just manifest stuff. It's all out of alignment because you're trying to rush everything. So this is a really good sign that you can feel grateful at the moment, because you know you're in a much better alignment than you were. You know you're being more healthy. You know you're moving away from energies that were a bit toxic. You know you've got some of your own toxic patterns a bit more subsided. You know, you just know all round that, you know, your energy is a lot better and that you are honouring source a lot more than you were previous. Another card to go with that Star. Oh, 10 of Cups. I mean, you just are feeling a bit more content as well, because 10 of Cups is contentment and happiness. you know, and you're very much starting, and it is early days, but I think you're very much starting to build little connections as well, possibly, or you will be in June. You know, little connections are starting to form, and more contentment is coming, and it could be you're making connections with, you know, people that are a bit more healthy, or even you're making connections with yourself that are more healthy, and finding out, oh, you know, I've found these oils that I'm finding really healthy and beneficial, or, you know, these crystals. You know, you could be making connections like that. So there's a lot to be grateful for and blessed for, you know, in this month of June. And there's almost a feeling as well. It's like you may be getting visions occasionally of like, I know the things I've been worrying about I didn't need to worry about, because I sort of know they're coming to me. I do feel it. As long as I stay conscious and I stay in a good frequency, I sort of do have more of a sense of trust that these lovely things are going to come to me. What should you put your energy into to attract abundance? Balance. Do everything with balance. Balance is a very good vibration, because if we do everything with balance, it reflects the vibration of neutrality, and neutrality is really quite high up the scale of alignment, the scale of enlightenment, neutrality. So it reflects an energy that brings you closer to source, where all the abundance lies. So, you know, doing everything with balance is a really good way to go about things, because, like I said at the beginning, we're not fully enlightened yet. We do still have ego, and we do still have blind spots. So we are going to still go out into the matrix, and occasionally we're going to dabble with things and touch things, but doing it in a more balanced way helps to bring consciousness through from source, and it will help you to attract abundance. So do everything with balance. That's what Spirit is saying. Oh, and taking your time, not rushing things. The more you slow things down, the more calm you are, you will result with wise actions, and what wisdom, wise actions, is very conscious. So it again aligns you to source, and source is going to be where all your abundance is coming from. So wise actions and balance. Wise actions, slowing things down, taking your time, doing things in a balanced, neutral way. It's going to allow that portal to source to open, to bring you your abundance. So it's a very good reading for June. You know, just keep moving away from the low vibes. When I say that, what we're talking about is people that have got low vibes, situations that were low vibe. You're removing yourself away from those, and you're going to carry on creating that gap. But also the low vibes that we carry in our own minds, creating more of a gap, observing negative thoughts when they arise, but knowing it's not actually me. It is just the ego, the false self, that is playing these old negative stories out in my brain. And you just keep observing them and becoming more aware of that. That is not you. And you start to disidentify from it more easily, because you know that that is just of the ego. You know, so you know, to attract abundance, to increase your abundance levels in June, you are going to find it easier. You are making the right strides. You are turning yourself away from people with low vibes, and also you're learning about not carrying your own low vibes. You are getting more blessed. You're definitely in a more healthy place than you were, and you're basically going towards being a lot more balanced and a lot more wise and moving more slowly. So you know, basically as a soul family, we're becoming more mature and more wise, you know, and it means that because we're not forcing things anymore and we're not rushing things, we're coming closer to the frequency of source, and that will help bring us more abundance. So I think we're making the right movements towards getting more abundance. I think from these cards, your abundance will be increasing and you will be receiving more money. You know, as long as you follow what the tarot is saying here, you are on the right roads to receiving more money and more opportunities that will be very abundant and lovely for you, that will make you happy. Okay, so very nice. I'm sending you lots of love and peace. I'll put the reading up on Facebook. I always forget to say the collective readings, they go up on Facebook so you can read it and look at the picture. And I'm sending you lots of love and peace. And if you want to book in for a reading, you know you're very welcome. Or if you want to buy my deck to attract whatever's meant for you, again, just message me. Peace.